Hi everyone. In this video, I'm trying to troubleshoot this particular problem. I just connected to my studio console and I see this error message on the screen. It says, the host server cannot be contacted. Check that the connection has a valid host address and that the host server is powered on and working properly. For some reason, it is not able to communicate with the ESXi server or the Xenserver. So what we can do is we can check some details first. Let's click on hosting. So when you click on hosting, it should show the details of the hosting connection. So in my lab environment, this is connected to, I'm using Citrix Xenserver. So it should show the details of the Xenserver here. If it is configured and working properly, it should not show any error message. So it's loading. All right, so this is the name of the connection, new connection, and it is the type is, as I said, it's Citrix Xenserver. Some people use VMware vSphere or ESXi server as well. And this is the IP address, and the state is in enabled state. So everything looks good here. Let's do one thing. Let's ping this machine and see how it goes. Okay, let's ping this machine. Okay, it is not pinging for whatever reason. Hope I typed the right IP address. It is 192.168.160.149. Okay, the IP address is right. Okay, it says request timed out. Let's see what is going to happen. Okay, it says destination host unreachable. Destination host unreachable. Okay, so it is timing out. So let's do one thing. Let us check the status on the Xenserver itself. Okay, let's connect to the Xenserver because everything is good here. It's configured properly and the state is enabled. And for whatever reason, we are not able to ping the Xenserver. So it's good to check what is happening on the Xenserver. Okay, Xenserver is on. So it's in started state, and the uptime is, if you see here, it's 36 minutes. It's up. It's up for the last 36 minutes, and yeah, you can see other details here like okay, this is the management interface, and okay, so this is the memory on the VDI machine. So the server is using 1.5 GB RAM. Okay, it's total 4.4 and 1.5 GB RAM is available right now. So okay, everything looks good. So let's do one thing. Let's check the status of the VDI machine itself. Okay, the VDI machine is up, but for whatever reason, it's not pinging. If you see here, it's not pinging. It says destination host unreachable. Let's do one thing. Let's minimize this. Let's go here. Let us do one thing. Let us go back to command prompt. It's interesting, if you see here, the address is 192.168.160.149, but here if you see, the response is coming from 192.168.160.130 for whatever reason. Okay. Anyways, let's do one thing. Let's go back to Xenserver. It's taking a while, so please bear with me. The screen is blank at the moment. I think the machine is running out of CPU or memory. Okay, it's back. Let's go back to controller quickly. It's okay. Let's do one thing. Let's click on edit connection here. It says change the address only if the current host machine has a new address. Entering an address to a different host machine will break the connection's machine catalog. Okay, so we have to make sure that we are putting the right details here. Only if the current host has a new IP address. Okay, let's cancel this. Let's cancel this. Let's go back to Xenserver. Let me hit enter. Okay, if you see the IP address here, it is 192.168.160.202. Okay, this is the IP address of the Xenserver. But here, if you see, it is pointing to 192.168.160.149. Strange. The IP address has changed here. But it is pointing to 192.168.160.149. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's go to the storefront server once. I would like to know what is happening. Let me connect to my storefront machine. What happens when I try to launch the application? This is what I would like to know. Okay, it's trying to connect. It's trying to log in. Okay, I see a virtual machine. Let's do one thing. Let's try to launch Notepad and see how it goes. What does it say? Is it going to launch the app, or is it going to throw some error message? Okay, it says cannot start app Notepad. Let's try MS Paint. Okay, it gives the same error message. Let us start virtual desktop. Okay, it's trying to launch. Let me click. Okay, it's trying to launch. Okay, looks like the Vdi machine has launched successfully. Yes, it launched successfully. It's almost there. But the IP address here is 192.168.160.202. Okay. And the IP address mentioned here is 192.168.160.149. So I'm just trying to find out what is happening here. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's edit the connection and let's change the IP address and see how it goes. Okay, so the IP address of the machine is 192.168.160.202. I hope I still remember the password. I'm going to click OK. This is going to be really interesting now. Okay, it is taking such a long time. It is going to take a while, so please bear with me. I hope it will be successful. Okay, seems like it went well. Let me click apply and let me click, yeah. Okay, let us wait for a few seconds. But the IP address is right, it is 192.168.160.202. Here if you see, hold on guys, it is quite slow. Yeah, so it is 192.168.160.202, and yeah, we have mentioned the right IP address 192.168.160.202. So everything looks good. We have mentioned the right IP address now. So I'm not going to edit this video, so please bear with me. It is going to be done in a few seconds. This is taking a long time. Okay, it says cannot communicate with the database. Check that the database is running and that is not being upgraded. Make sure you have permissions to access the database. This is quite interesting. Let's do one thing. Let's go back to controller and let's check the services. Okay, seems like SQL Server agent is in down state. Let me start. Let me check the other services as well. Looks okay. Let's go back to, yeah, let's do one thing. Let's click close. Let's click apply. Let's click OK. Okay, let's see how it goes this time. Okay, this is again in down state for whatever reason. Let's click start. Okay, it started. Let's refresh. Okay, it's in started state now. Let's check the status here. Yeah, I think what we have done is right. We have mentioned the right IP address and we are trying to make a connection. So yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is done now. If you see, yes, it's done. It's trying to load. It's trying to show the new connection. And it should, yeah, if you see now, it is showing 192.168.160.202, which is the right IP address of the Xenserver. Okay, so it's all done and it is looking good. It's enabled as well. So let's do one thing. Let's click on test connection once. Okay, it's testing the connection. This could take several minutes. Okay, so far it is looking good. All right, 3 successful tests. Nothing has failed. Everything went well, so we can just close it. All right, it's perfect now. So let's do one thing now. Let's go back to storefront server. Okay, let's try to launch an application now and see. Okay, so let me click login. Let me type my credentials. Oh, interesting. It says there are no apps or desktops available to you at this time. Very interesting. So something is not getting reflected. Let's go back to controller. Okay, let's check the services. Okay, everything looks good here. Okay, let me restart Citrix configuration service. I'll also restart Citrix configuration logging service here. Okay, seems like the services have been restarted. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's log off now and try to log in and see if we could see some applications this time. Alright, let me try to log in. Okay, I still cannot see any applications here, which is interesting. If you see here, SQL Server agent is in down state again. Let me start. Okay, it started now. I hope it stays like that. Let me go back to storefront quickly. I'll log off. I will log in again. Okay, I still can't see any applications here for whatever reason. Okay, let me log in as a different user and see how it goes. Okay, let me log in. Okay, I still don't see any applications. Okay, let me try a few more things here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart SQL Server itself. Okay, I'm going to restart SQL Server service. Okay, it's been restarted now. Let me start SQL Server agent as well. Okay, everything looks good. Let me try once again. Let me log off. Let me log in. Okay, I still can't see any applications, which is interesting. Okay, let me go to the machine catalogs once. Maybe it is still pointing to my uh, old hypervisor connection here. Let me just cross check once if I could change some details here and see how it goes. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's click on edit machine catalog. it has broken the connection actually. Every time the IP address changes in the hypervisor, so the controller loses connection to the hypervisor and we need to set it up again. This is taking a while. I hope this is going to open today. In the meanwhile, I'll check the services once. Let me start the service. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll try to restart Citrix host service. Okay, it's almost there. So once this service is restarted, we can go back and check the applications again. Let's try to launch an application and see how it goes. Okay, I hope it goes well. Okay, interesting. Windows could not stop the Citrix. Okay, not a problem. I'll just click OK. I'm gonna refresh. Okay, let me log in once. Hit login. Okay, it still says there are no apps or desktops available to you at this time. Let me go back to, okay, this is in stopping state if you see. So the service is in stopping state, which is interesting. Okay, let's leave it for a second. Let's go back to this place. Okay, it is still loading. Okay, let me close this and let me try to launch it again. Okay, if you see, it is in stop state, SQL Server agent. Okay. Okay, this is still in stopping state. Okay, now it is giving an option to start. I'm gonna click start and see how it goes. Okay, now it is in running state if you see. Let me refresh. Okay, this is in stop state again. Let me start this. Okay, this doesn't start for whatever reason. Okay, not a problem. Let's go back to storefront. Let me type my credentials and see how it goes. All right, finally we could see the application. Okay, so let's click on the application and see how it goes. This is such a long video, guys. If you're still with me, I really appreciate your time for staying such a long time with me while troubleshooting this issue. Okay, it's trying to launch. I hope it launches so that we can end this video and we can do our own things. All right, the application launched successfully. Everything looks good. Yes, everything looks all right. All right, guys, finally we could launch the application after changing the hosting connection. So after changing the hosting connection, everything was broken for whatever reason, and we had to troubleshoot. We had to start so many services, and we had to do a lot of troubleshooting, a lot of testing. But if you could have if you had followed my troubleshooting steps, you will be getting some idea like how we need to react and how we need to take things forward when you come across any issues in the real-time environment. So since this is a lab environment, I can just play around and start any services, but if you're working in a real-time environment, you have to be little careful and yeah, take things carefully, and it will work. Like if you start making steps in a positive way, then things will start working. It shouldn't be a problem. All right, Thank you for watching, guys. So I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.